All right, hello everyone. We're going to pick back up where we left off with types of plans. Now that we've learned how to read our insurance card, we're going to go think about the different types of insurance plans. You will encounter two broad types: individual or group. Most of us that work for an employer with a significant number of employees will have the option to select group insurance. And group insurance is usually a very good thing. So these large companies have basically leveraged the buying power of a large group of people to negotiate some more favorable rates and better coverage for their employees. Group health insurance is also beneficial because the insurance company has lower costs to underwrite you because they can treat you, or because they know the average claims from a type of group. So, for example, if you were to go get individual insurance, they'd have to ask you a lot of questions and try to figure out how risky of a person you are. Versus if you were a skyscraper, if you worked in construction of skyscrapers, well, then they can rate your entire group as pretty risky and be able to identify some of the claims that you are likely to have better. So those cost savings can be passed on to you as a worker. However, if you're in a risky situation, then that might not be the case. Additionally, employers like to have group health insurance because they, instead of paying you wages, they can provide you benefits in kind, like health insurance. But at any rate, you can also take out individual policies if you don't have health insurance. And as you'll see in your lab, you can also get individual health insurance from the government-sponsored marketplace that was created out of the Affordable Care Act, and you'll actually do that in your workshop. So group or individual, either way, there are different types of plans, and we're going to look largely at private insurance plans in this lecture. There's a small bit of reading on public plans like Medicare and Medicaid in your textbook. I'll leave that to the homework to get you all to learn that, but I want to talk about private insurance, which is what we'll mostly be facing out of college. So with private insurance, there's two types: traditional indemnity and managed care plans. Traditional indemnity is old school insurance. It's what insurance used to be. It's rare if you get a hold of one of these policies, but it's called the fee-for-service plan. What that means is exactly what it sounds. You pay for services, you file a claim with the insurance provider, and then they reimburse you. Or we can kind of cut out the middleman, and the insurance company just directly reimburses the hospital. But either way, you get a service, the insurance company repays. The insurance company would maintain a list of usual, customary, and reasonable charges, which basically prevents you from going and charging up a bunch of stuff and then trying to charge them for it. It'll make you shop around for cheaper physicians. These plans typically include a deductible and 80/20 participation. More popular plans, however, are managed care plans. And so what happens here is the insurance provider, like a Humana or a Anthem, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, whatever, they contract with a network of physicians that they approve of. So they research these physicians and they say, we like these physicians. You all should go to these physicians. And they make it higher cost for the insured person to use a doctor that's not in their network. The reason is the insurance company has, found favorable negotiations with these workers, with these doctors, and so going out of network, they just don't know what they could possibly be charged. And there's many types of blended plans. We're going to talk about HMO and PPO. HMO is a health management organization. What you pay is a monthly fee called a premium, increasing in the number of members of your family. You'll pay what are called co-pays. And so we saw those on the card earlier. And basically what that means is when you go to an office visit or you get a prescription, some of these more routine tasks, you don't pay for the doctor's bill, and there's no co-insurance involved. You simply pay the copay. Then when you're billed for whatever procedures occurred, not the office visit or not the medicine, you usually don't face a deductible, but you will possibly face co-insurance. HMOs used to be really strict with in-network standards. They used to require you to select a primary care physician, and that was the one that you went to every single time you were sick. And then if you needed any specialist, like physical therapy or I don't know, like I guess cancer treatment, or you broke a bone, you need to see the X-ray specialist or something like that, then you could get a referral from your primary care provider, and they would then send you to that specialist. These are kind of going away. Even HMO nowadays are offering out-of-network options, like what we'll study a PPO, and they're not often requiring a primary care provider. They're just requiring you to go in-network, and you still usually have to get a referral. And the referral just basically means you just can't go to the physical therapist and say, hey, I need physical therapy. The preferred provider plan, the PPO, is like an HMO in many ways, but it explicitly allows you out-of-network options, and that'll be stated on your card usually. So it looks identical to an HMO, except when you go out-of-network, you'll have kind of the same provisions but higher rates. And you usually don't need a primary care provider or referrals with a PPO plan. So what do you think? We saw this card earlier: annual deductible, co-pays, and then this co-insurance in-network, out-of-network. I told you insurance plans are kind of all blended nowadays, and so it's hard to find one that just fits the traditional definition of HMO or PPO, but what does this look like to you? What would you assign to this? Well, I would say it looks most like a PPO. And the reason is because it provides you in-network and out-of-network coverage. HMOs typically require a network, although they're getting loose on that. But because we have the out-of-network co-insurance, this might be a PPO card. Another option you want to be aware of are high deductible HRAs and HSAs. And so what these are basically savings accounts, or otherwise just accounts where you have money set aside for health issues and prove that to the insurance company. In return, they charge you very small premiums. So, health savings account, you or your employer or both of you contribute to a savings account. Georgia College offers matching just like a retirement account. So you might actually find that you could contribute to an HSA and get free money. And so what happens is you have all this money in your HSA, and then you pay a tiny premium for your policy. But the exchange is that you have a super high deductible. And the reason why you have a high deductible is because you're going to pay a lot of your health insurance claims right out of your savings account before any insurance kicks in. This is really good for a healthy person because they can put a bunch of money in savings, not pay a bunch of premium, but still have financially planned for an adverse health outcome. The other benefit is that these are tax-free vessels. So the money that you put in is before income tax. All interest that you earn is also tax deferred. And these roll over from year to year. And so it's a way to get more tax deferred savings as well. And then if you leave the job, the money's yours. Health reimbursement accounts are set up by your employer. They contribute. And so you can use them to buy health insurance with premiums. You can use them for claims. However, these are basically considered tax-free income because they're not paid to you directly as a wage. But the money's not yours if you leave. There may be some vesting period where you get to keep some of it. If you work there for long enough, you'll have to check in the laws of the policy. But interestingly, that money's not yours if you leave it. And a lot of times these are annual, that you have to spend your HRA dollars by the end of the year. HRA may also offer you the option to make your own contributions as well, but you'll just have to check up on that. Traditionally, not. So, who's an HRA and HSA for? You're generally healthy, you don't have a lot of medical need, or you're anticipating having several expensive procedures over the next year. Well, yeah, if you're generally healthy and don't have a lot of medical need, you might benefit from having super low premiums and never having to spend your HSA dollars or HRA dollars. However, if you're going to have a lot of expenses over the next year, you'll probably want to have some pretty good insurance coverage, but it really just depends. You'll have to do an expenditure analysis between the two. But generally, if you're not going to have a lot of claims, it's very good to have small premiums, right? All right, that is Module 4 Day 2. Go check out the workshop and the homework.